Thanks for joining me today, guys, for our weight loss secrets revealed workshop. Okay. How does it just melt stubborn fat? I'm not going to read. So, what we want to remember when it comes to nutrition is that we want to look at what does work and just work from that, right? Because a lot of times we all hop to the latest trend or whatever's kind of hot, the latest when it comes to nutrition or diet or whatever that may be, and that is usually what gets us into trouble, right? Even if we see short-term results from, some quick fix or crash diet, it never serves us in the long run. I think we all know that. That's not usually those options, they may change the scale number, but it doesn't serve us in life, right? Hey there. So just to highlight a few of our successes that have benefited from, parts of these principles I'm going to share with you today. Diane, I think everyone's seen Diane's story, lost about 43 pounds, and that was simply with clean eating and a combination of healthy habits, and also she took it kind of to the next level, like I'll talk about in a minute, with actually counting calories and having specific goals with that. Not everyone needs to go that far, and I'll kind of explain where you need to go next, considering where you are right now. So some of our other success stories, you've probably seen and met many of these ladies. They're pretty much all active members. Debbie's a rock star. Seen before pictures. I'm not sure how that happened. So I introduced her to the paleo diet about 4 years ago, actually, when I first started training her. And she dropped a solid 60, 70 pounds, just not even counting calories or anything, just hitting high quality foods. But also that really depends on where you're coming from with your nutrition right now. That makes all the difference. Jennifer Thomas, one of our former members, she had been eating clean, per se. Once I really helped her kind of more on the mindset of following through, because she counted calories before, she had manipulated macronutrients like carbohydrates, stuff like that, but it's really the follow through in the long term. And until you make that shift in your mindset, that this is it, and you're committed, and you make that commitment up here, a lot of times it doesn't matter what the plan is, we don't follow through. So, Lane, one of the rock stars, slow and steady progress over the course of 12 months was 60 plus pounds. No secrets. She didn't count a single calorie. That was all from clean eating. Also, you gotta look at where she was coming from. She had basically, she was not started, right? She was not focused on quality foods. She was not counting calories. So you can see the difference between where you are now and where you go next and how that can affect things. Okay. So there's 3 keys to success from your nutrition. And the first one is going to be your strategy or your plan. Like I said, quick fixes, crash diets don't serve us in the long run. Can we lose weight? Yes. Can we sustain it? No. Okay? So can you have a solid improvement plan? Support and accountability. That's honestly why we are so great at what we do here. We have a great training system, but realistically it's that magical intangible that keeps people coming back and surrounded by like-minded people. And that's what makes all the difference. And then have the right mindset and attitude. If you're in a bad headspace, those first 2 don't matter. It will make all the difference. It doesn't matter how good the plan is, how proven it is. So some of you may have tried or heard of South Beach, Atkins, Paleo, Whole30, Jenny Craig, my crazy bodybuilding I did that was nuts, that worked, right? Raise your hand if you've seen or tried one of these. Everyone here? They're all crazy, right? They can work, and there's virtue in every single one of them, but there's a lot simpler way to create a sustainable change. So key strategy number 1 is your nutrition plan soundproof. Has it worked sustainably for others? Not if it's worked, in those infomercial 30, 60, 90 day spans. Has this served someone in life going forward? Okay? Oops. Do that. I'll get back. Can this plan fit your lifestyle? I'm looking around this room, and I know a lot of you personally, and you live very different schedules. Some are teachers, they're up as early as me. Some are administrators, they're up as early as me and as late as me. So that has a lot to do with the type of lifestyle you choose and your approach. Like a bodybuilding diet may work for some people. That's like their thing, right? They're on that eating schedule and they can make it work to have the flexibility. But for most people, that's very unrealistic. So you have to find something that works within that. And is it sustainable and will it serve you in life? I can't really stress that enough. It's all about creating the habits that serve you. So where do you start? This is the first thing I want you to take note of. So level 1, if you are inactive, you are not tracking calories, fat, carbs, protein, and not following through, and you have sugar in your diet, alcohol, processed foods, fat-free foods, calorie-free foods, a lot of those things where we really don't have a plan right now, level 1 is going to serve you best. So where do we go from there? Clean eating. Let's clean up your diet. That's where Whole30 is beautiful. Most of the time, starting with Whole30, the cleanse, basically clean eating, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but as long as you center your nutrition around a Whole30 philosophy, you will get a result, right? Now, let's say you transition from level 1 to level 2. You're eating clean. You're eating clean for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and you're not seeing a result. Or maybe you're just feeling better, but the scale isn't changing like you had hoped it would. What I recommend next is balancing your carbohydrates. Just to talk about, there's 2 or 3 key times where you want to place your carbs. So a lot of times, I'll talk about in a minute what's wrong with the Whole30 and why it doesn't serve all of us and why it may not be the best thing going forward. Okay? Level 3, if you are eating clean, if you are hitting, timing your carbs around activity, balancing them properly, that's when we have to get really specific with our calories, how much fat, carbs, and protein. It may not be very much fun, but if we want the results, and we're training hard, everyone that trains in here trains hard at least 3 times a week with intensity. There's no question about that. Manipulating the macronutrients and stuff like that is usually what is the next step. Okay? Now, do we have to count calories for the rest of our lives? No. But it will get us to a specific point. Okay? And once we get there, the beautiful thing about counting calories is you become more aware. You become more aware of what the heck the food in front of you is worth. And that's the biggest value in committing to a nutrition plan. Instead of just kind of running the process and going through the motions, like proactively learning what you're eating, what it's worth, that makes such a difference. The value of that in itself will serve you in life. Okay? So hierarchy of any nutrition plan fits it right in line with those levels I was talking about. So first there's quality foods, Whole30, paleo. Then quantity and balance are kind of tied together. How many calories are we taking in? What's the composition of those calories? Is it 30% carbohydrates, 20% carbohydrates? Are we still having 50% of our calories from carbohydrates? That makes all the difference. So I think we've all tried counting calories at some point, and we may get a result, and then sometimes we don't. And that's because we're not specific within those calories. All right? And then when we're eating what, we can get very specific to a whole nother level with meal timing. I'll show you how to time your carbs on a very basic level to get a great result. So quality foods, typically you're going to find your lean proteins are going to be chicken, fish, beef, protein powders, pea, whey, hemp. Those are alternatives for those that are a little less tolerant to lactose. Okay, healthy fats, olive, coconut, avocado, nuts, and seeds. And last but not least, quality carbohydrate starches such as sweet potatoes, brown rice, if you're adding rice into your diet, and then vegetables and fruits. How do we flavor our foods? There's 2 ways. Does anyone know?
Spices.
And healthy fats. That's really, really what we should be flavoring our foods with. We don't need the sugar, we don't need the additives, the chemicals, right, that we tend to find in our diets. So quantity. I recommend to start with what's called the Harris-Benedict equation. I've done this for several of you and giving you very specific calorie goals when I see it's necessary, okay? I don't like to start everyone off this way because remember, if you're at level 1 right now, it's a little overwhelming to have to count calories, have to count carbs, have to count protein, have to count fats, cut sugar out of your diet, cut alcohol out of your diet, time your carbs before your workouts, time your carbs first thing in the morning. It's just a lot, right? That's why I like to say just one step at a time. Don't worry about hitting your calorie goals if you still have junk food in your diet. I think that makes the most sense. Step by step into it. So, and here's the biggest thing, like, who here has estimated their metabolism at some point? Anyone? A calorie goal? I've done it. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. We can't really tell exactly what our metabolism is. You could do underwater weighing for body fat testing. You could do bod pod for body fat testing. You could do calipers. But at the end of the day, the things that really affect and define our metabolism are genetics, okay? It's how much we sleep. That has everything to do with how our genetics play out. Our stress levels, if we're not managing stress well, that will change everything. And our nutrition. See, it's a pretty complex beast. So even if we estimate exactly how many calories we need to maintain and or lose weight, there's one problem. If all 4 of those variables are way out of whack, it's not going to help us anyway. And then we get frustrated and caught up on the number. So a lot of times, if someone has mastered the quality of their foods, and I recommend they move on to a specific calorie goal, fat, carb, protein, it may not work right away. Okay? It depends where you're coming from. If you're undereating, your metabolism needs to build back up. If you're overeating, you might find that you lose weight real quick. But at the end of the day, you have to run the process. So if we say your goal is 1,700 calories a day, and then we hit 1,700 calories 3 out of 7 days a week, and we say it's not working, is it not working, or are we not working? Right? Because we don't know if that number serves us unless we run the plan and run it consistently. I recommend about 2 weeks sticking with the plan before you change it. Okay? Balance. How do we balance our macronutrients? Let's say we have that calorie goal. We're eating clean. We're Whole30 compliant. Okay? We have a specific calorie goal that we're hitting, 1,600 calories a day. How the heck do we balance it? Where do we go from there? I typically recommend about 30 to 40% protein, 30 to 40% fats, and then 20 to 30% carbohydrates. Is that going to be the perfect number or perfect balance for us? Now, we got to find out. How do we figure that out? We test it for about 2 weeks. Run the plan. See if it works. Be consistent. How do we know if it works? We're consistent. That's really the only way. And it can vary, right? So you may find you may need to scale your carbs back a little bit. You may find you need to scale your calories back a little bit. But the point is, the lesson here is that you need to build foundation, right? And then you start adding in those extra things, calories, fat, carb, protein split. And then we find out going forward what serves us. Carb sensitivity. Who here feels as though they might have some level of sensitivity to carbohydrates? We struggle with weight. Odds are, I know I'm very carb sensitive. If I have more carbohydrates in my diet, I feel bloated. I don't feel as healthy. And I see myself retain more water, and I just puffier, right? When I reduce carbohydrates within reason, I feel better, and I tend to lose weight a little bit easier. Most people are like that, okay? So, only way to find the magic carb count, like I was talking about with our percentages, is consistency. Just got to run the plan consistently. So if Mary Jane hits her fat, carb, protein, and calorie goal for 2 weeks daily, then we reevaluate and see if it's worth shifting at that point. If she loses a pound in 2 weeks, do we really need to change it? Is it happening overnight? No, but it's going to probably serve her. We get more aggressive, but is it necessary? You know? Timing. This is huge. I'm going to talk, I think the next slide is going to be about Whole30. Okay? When do we want to time our carbs? There's 2 vital times. First thing in the morning, right after a workout. Always, always, always. Every bit of scientific literature about post-workout nutrition is steering us towards the necessity for carbohydrates after a workout. All right? There's one underlying principle here. Is anyone diabetic or know someone that's diabetic in the room? No? Okay, basically you have to watch how your blood sugar levels are going, and because you're typically less sensitive to insulin. So, when our blood sugar is at its lowest is 2 times. When we first wake up in the morning and after a workout. You know why? Because we haven't eaten. So anytime we fast, anytime we don't eat for an extended period of time, our blood sugar comes back to baseline and then it drops. All right? After high intense training, our blood sugar drops. Has anyone in here gone into a workout without eating for a couple hours before? Did you feel very good? No. That is more likely than not has to do with blood sugar. More likely than not, hydration and other things too. More likely than not has to do with blood sugar. And that's okay, right? But we just have to be aware of that. So we place our carbs first thing in the morning. than after a workout. That point in time, they're going to be least likely to be utilized for body fat and more likely to be used for what's called glycogen. Glycogen is like your gas tank. There's not an abundant amount that you can stack, 1,000 calories of carbohydrates in and hope it doesn't convert into body fat. But if you have 50, 60, 70 grams of carbohydrates at those two key times, you fill the gas tank back up. Okay, because the gas tank depletes when we sleep because we're fasting, and the gas tank definitely depletes during our workouts here because we're working hard. Okay. Now, if you haven't eaten prior to your workout, have at least protein, if not carbohydrates too. If you have carbs before, it may blunt the use of body fat, but you'll feel great during your workout. You'll feel powerful. What's the benefit that we get from our workout? Is it so much about the calories we burn during our workout, or is it about adding the lean muscle tissue and increasing our metabolism in the long term? That's what a strength training session is for. Sure, you burn energy during it, but your ultimate goal is that delayed gratification of a higher metabolism later down the road.
So question, do you have a ratio for the pre-workout and the post-workout between the carbs and the protein?
I believe post-workout, you want at least 20 to 30 grams, and that's when you can be a little more flexible with your carbohydrates. So I believe it's like a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio. I shoot for about 50 to 80 grams of carbs post-workout and 20 to 30 grams of protein post-workout. In the morning, you can be a little more flexible. Okay. Someone wants to, hey, Jen, can you turn the AC on? It's getting a little hot up here. So what I call anytime meals would be anything you want, where you can be more flexible throughout the rest of your day, right? And you want to build those from protein sources, fats, and vegetables. Does anyone know why? Blood sugar. Okay. There's 3 key things that are going to create the perfect fat burning storm. And when our blood sugar spikes through the ceiling, that is not the time. Because what's our body doing at that point? Is it storing energy or is it releasing energy? Storing energy. That's why when we have sugar throughout our diet, we're constantly in a breaking down and storage mode versus a body fat release mode. Okay? And this is kind of, I've already hit most of this, but why the Whole30 can fail us. Nothing gets me more frustrated than seeing 2 people walk in the gym. And let's say there's Jane and Cindy. They both do Whole30 religiously. They don't track calories, fat, carbs, protein, but they hit every compliant meal 30 days. Jane loses 15 pounds in 30 days. Cindy, weight doesn't change. I don't feel very good when I steer someone in that direction. Yes, they become healthier, but at the end of the day, people are here to typically lose weight if that's their goal. Okay? So how can we avoid that same thing? That's what I put together in the 4-week meal plan I'm going to be sharing with everyone that's here. I've done the pre-balance of fat, carb, protein for you. It's not perfect, but it's going to set you up for more success than if you just blindly did the Whole30. Because what's the problem? If we have minimal protein in our Whole30 meals, but we have a ton of carbohydrates and we're not very active, that's not going to set us up for success. So it's real frustrating to see 10 people do Whole30 because I know it's serving them in life and in health, but a lot of times you get such a range of results. So with the meal plan system I put together, that'll solve most of that for you. But I still want you to learn, right? Because that's only a 30-day meal plan. You have to learn how to balance your meals in life going forward. That's how we grow, right? So carbs at the wrong time, and I already gave you the 2 key times. What are they?
Morning.
First thing in the
Morning.
and right after our
Workout.
Exactly, and before a workout if we feel like it's needed. Okay. Can you have carbs at other times of the day? Yes. Is it going to serve you best? Maybe. So the perfect fat burning storm. Here it is. Low or stable blood sugar levels. Okay, that has a lot to do with insulin and if our body's storing or releasing. It's never doing both. It's either one or the other. Okay. Low cortisol, yes, low cortisol levels. What's our stress level? That's a lot. That can hormonally shift our makeup at the moment. That can change how and if and when we're metabolizing fat or releasing fuel versus storing. And fat mobilization from exercise. So high intense training is going to mobilize fat from our fat cells, right? That's why high intense training is another reason why it's so much more superior. Okay? And also I didn't throw in there Glycogen, that gas tank we were talking about, we want it low or empty. Okay, because the next best source of fuel is body fat. So we often say it's not working. What else can I do? I'm following it but not seeing progress. Ask yourself, are you staying consistent? If your goal is 18, let's say you're already at level 3, you have a specific calorie goal, fat, carb, protein. Are you hitting it 7 days a week? If not, how do we know it's not working, or if it is? It's one of the biggest lessons I want you to take away from today. So, are you really committed? You have to be committed. You can't be 60% of the day. If you're 80% committed, you'll probably get a pretty good result, but will you get 100% of the benefits? Definitely not. That's what, like, you look at extreme examples. So bodybuilders, for example. Do bodybuilders lose fat? Probably better than anyone I know personally. Yes, absolutely. But they follow it literally to the T. Most bodybuilders do not cheat on their diet. Is that what you need to do? No. But it shows an example what we are capable of if we take it to that extreme. Do we can take it to that extreme to see that result? No. You can get a nearly significant result with 80–90% of the focus. Does that make sense? So, support and accountability, surrounding yourself in an environment of like-minded people. That's why we're doing a partner challenge for this 30, name that Chris came up with. Thanks, Chris. So partnering, there will be that extra little bit of accountability. Okay, weekly weigh-ins too. Every little bit helps. That kind of ties in with the strategy and the mindset. It bridges the gap between the two. And then coaching, having a coach like myself, coach like Jen. You know, we're here to help you guys in any way we can. So, community. Surround yourself with like-minded people. I always have a slide coming up. I'll just save that. So, habit focus. That's in line with your goals, such as daily exercise. It's almost like if you want the end result of sustainable weight loss or reaching a weight loss goal, there's the daily steps that have to add up to equal that. Okay, that's why your focus shouldn't be on the scale numbers per se. It should be on getting your workouts in for the week, hitting your day-to-day goals. When we break it down, just like any task in life, it's really a simple process. It's not easy, but it's a very simple thing. Who here has had success in some area of their life? Consistency probably had a lot to do with that. Just crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Right? Same thing with losing weight. So if you surround yourself with those that choose to eat healthy, you will more likely not choose to eat healthy as well. So if you walk into a board meeting, and this is what's in front of you, are you going to pull out a salad if every other person in that room is eating that? Maybe. Maybe. Are you going to feel very good? Or are you probably going to feel some sort of pressure or guilt, all that intangible that we build up in our minds? Yes. So by creating the environment, controlling your space. Weight Watchers, who is done Weight Watchers? I think they talk about like controlling your space. It's huge. It's everything. If you walk in the room, and, let's say you're in an office and no one there exercises, and you talk about how you're going to go work out, they're going to make you feel bad, or they're going to be like, oh, exercise, right? The same thing with our eating. Like that environment is so powerful. That's the difference between following through and it being getting through the process. So control and creating your environment. If you can't change your environment, can you influence it? Can you be the person that makes a change? I've seen that happen. It's awesome when you see someone that is on fire, they're committed, like every single person in this room, and you go back and influence others. That's awesome, and that's empowering to you because most people want to be healthy. I don't think I know anyone that says, John, I'm really enjoying struggling with weight and eating really unhealthy and not feeling very good every day. I don't know anyone that truly and honestly feels and believes that. So when you have the opportunity to kind of lead and inspire others around you in your workplace and home, it makes such a difference. So last but not least is mindset and attitude. If your head is in the wrong place with your diet, if you're thinking about Friday already and it's Sunday, that's a problem. But we've all been there. It is what it is. But that's the shift you have to make in your thinking if you want to actually create change. Can you go to Duck Donuts on Friday morning? Absolutely. But what about everything else? Did you follow through every other T? Did you plan for that? You can build duck donuts in your diet. It's not going to be the best thing for you, but it will set if you set it up in advance, you can do it. So you probably agree that with a poor and frustrated attitude, weight loss, it gets a lot harder. So how do you describe weight loss? What is a process to you? Let's hear it. Describe weight loss to me. What is it to you?
Or me or back?
Yeah.
Losing weight. What's the question? What is weight loss?
Describe weight loss to me. What is it to you when I say
Describe
weight
weight
loss?
loss. Losing weight.
Is it the most painful thing ever?
No.
Is it a simple process?
You need to be consistent.
Is it a journey to health?
Yes.
See how we could describe it in so many different ways, but that makes all the difference. And I'm sure my educators in the room can relate to this. When you have a student that has a very negative mindset about math, right? And math is the most atrocious thing they'll ever go through, versus one that, you know, it's the next task, the next stepping stone towards a better education. Two people could walk into a gym, one with this is gonna be the worst hour of my life, and that other one is this is my time for myself. Who's gonna be more successful in the long run? Right? The things we say to ourselves up here or out here make all the difference in the result, the end result. Anyone can get started in a weight loss journey, but the start's the easy part. It's the follow through. And the right strategy, the right support system and environment, combined with the right language and self-talk to ourselves, that is a real secret. That's the hardest part too. So, you've probably heard or seen someone that has said this: I tried everything, this probably won't work either. It's a very defeated mindset. I'm not giving up my insert blank here, no matter what. Usually wine is. I get it, no worries. Can we never have wine again? No. But the point is, if we walk into it as I'm going to cheat, I don't care. That doesn't serve us. Can we plan that in? Yeah. But have that in your mindset. Say, okay, I'm going to bust my butt. I'm going to take one step back every week because I want to enjoy wine, but I'm going to make sure I do everything else right leading up to that. That's how you win. That's where you find the balance. There's no one in here's buying. Okay? Every diet I've tried has failed. What's different about this one? It's walking in with uncertainty, doubt, skepticism. That's going to be in the back of your mind the whole next 6, 12, whatever weeks it is. Or the hardest one that I just hate hearing this as a coach. It sucks. It hurts to hear this. There must be something wrong with me. My teachers in the room, you probably had kids that say that. It's not fun. It doesn't make you feel good. But the mindset of where you're coming from with that's a white flag up in there already. It's not going to serve you. You got to shift your thinking. Keep doing the things we've been doing, we'll keep getting what we've been getting. I think we've all done this when it comes to nutrition and exercise. We repeat that loop, the patterns that we feel like are the right path, and then we kind of fall off the wagon or we don't follow through. So I think you can kind of see where the right strategy, the right support system, mindset is really where it all happens. This ties in with mindset, also more hormonally. Stress, what's stopping you from fat loss? Hormonally causes cravings. We're seeking, instant gratification from our nutrition, the faster results than are realistic. And, habitually, if you're stressed out, you're probably going to be more reactive, less proactive. More reactive in what you eat. More reactive in when you eat versus proactively planning things out. So stress reduction, how we perceive weight loss, that ties in so much with our strategy. How to manage stress and get our head in the right place. Having a plan. I think we all plan other areas of our lives. Why not our nutrition? Why not our fitness? We all deserve it. I think we can agree that if we excel with our health, fitness, wellness, it's going to transcend down into every little other area of our life. Our relationships, our professional relationships, our quality time with our family, our friends. If we feel better, we're going to want to do more. One of the most common things I hear from women that come in and meet with me is that they don't feel like they've been living life. And that sucks. You got a family, you got kids, you got grandkids. Like, there's so much to life. And when it right here, we're not where we need to be, it just takes away from every other area. So taking daily action. You know, you have to be proactive in your approach, regardless of your strategy, and obviously a support system like I've talked about. We grow and make progress when we do what's hard, never what's easy. I went to a Tony Robbins conference, and he pointed this out. You know, what's easy is always available, even with nutrition and fitness. It's those moments where we push through in our workout, or we make we take the higher road with what's in front of us, and you know has been presented to us. That's where we build character. That's where we build confidence. That's where we create success: health, fitness, wellness, weight loss. So having a plan. I think everyone here knows how to plan, probably a little better than me, and having a backup plan too, because things are going to come up. You know, a lot of moms in the room, so there's a lot of other lives that are intertwined into our schedules. By pre-planning for that, you can still be successful. You may miss your workout, but if your nutrition's on point, is it the end of the world? No. What are your rituals? Do you have some sort of rituals? Be religious, not religious. Daily meditation, mindfulness is a great way to manage stress. I practice and preach myself. Expressing gratitude, positive affirmations, and looking at your goals. Where are you going? You take two people that walk into a gym and they both want to lose weight. Jane has a very specific deadline. She has a 30th high school reunion coming up on December 15th, 2015. Less than 3 months from today. Cindy wants to lose weight. Who's going to be more fired up and successful and focused? I'll tell you what, hell and high water, the first one's going to push through. She'll get there. So having that end goal in mind is really powerful. I think we've all applied that in other areas of our lives because everyone here has been successful in some way. So midday stress relief. If you don't give yourself that time midday, 12-hour, 16-hour days can really wear on us. I give everyone in here credit, by the way, that works out in the evening. It's not easy. It's not easy. I did it last night. It was, I did not enjoy a minute of it. But props to you guys if that's all you can do. So manage your minds. I'm not there yet. This is too hard. This is something that I see a lot. When we haven't lost as much weight as we wanted to. But what do we have to be grateful for at the moment? If we're 10 weeks into a 12-week program, have we created healthy habits? Have we exercised 4 to 6 times a week? Have we probably lost a little body fat, but it hasn't shown as much on the scale? Like, yeah, sure, we didn't drop 20 pounds overnight, but look at what you set yourself up for success with. It's not, yes, it's about the scale for a lot of us, but that's not really what it's about. What we get in the meantime, the healthy habits, the lifestyle, health and wellness, that's priceless. That's where the real value is. Fell off the wagon, it's too hard to get back on. This is a very downward spiral, and I think I've done it myself. I'm just as guilty. But when we pick ourselves up faster from those moments where we do cheat on our diet, we miss our workout, once again, reinforces the positive. So, coaching habits, I'm gonna hold you accountable. Mary Kim's great at calling our friends that have been missing from the gym for weeks at a time. So, always appreciate little things like that. Also, connecting with people that have had success themselves. Creates that belief in us. Goes back to the mindset. And someone that has helped others too. Some food for thought. I did a platinum coaching program, which was pretty hands-on weekly with a group of our members here at the gym. And one of the things that one of the ladies that had a ton of success with, she had just been stuck and she kind of had a breakthrough with her mindset and finally followed through. No more falling off the wagon, little things like that. One of her inspirations was that she wanted to teach her daughter that the small things count. And by wanting to be the example, she reinforced that for herself. But I think we can all take, lesson from that the small things do count. If we have a couple drinks one night, but we're perfect the rest of the week, can we plan for that? Did we factor it in? Because if not, that small thing is going to count. Did we work as hard as we could in our workout? If we didn't, if we work sub-hard and push ourselves, adds up over time. Okay? So your combination of 5 people you surround yourself with goes back to controlling our space. And it's about the process, not the destination. You'll get to your weight loss goal eventually, but it's the journey in between. If we make that the worst experience ever, it's going to be very painful. If we make it a journey to improve ourselves, it makes all the difference. So, like I said, imagine if you hadn't started, where would you be today? Short recap. Where are you now, and what's your next level? Do you need to shift and focus on level 1? You just need to clean up your diet. Is it time we set calorie goals? You just need to time your carbs a little better. Are you eating Whole30 compliant day in, day out, and you just need to balance your carbs? It's not about doing the perfect plan, it's about just taking yourself to the next step. So, in mindset, what are your habits and rituals, and are you making time for yourself? A lot of women that don't make any time for themselves. If you don't make time for yourself, it's going to be a lot harder of a process. So, any questions? Anything we covered today before I have my guests come up? Yeah, go ahead, please.
When you talk about carbs, you're not talking about grain, you're talking about all carbs, or are you talking about grains?
Carbs as a whole.
Carbs as a whole, like
Grains is a
vegetables?
choice. Yep,
Okay.
vegetables, fruit, starches like sweet potato, brown rice, quinoa. It can be grains, doesn't need to be.
Okay.
At the end of the day, like fruit, for example, sugar is sugar is sugar. In my eyes, it's all the same to me. So. Got a silent room today.
So go light on the fruit, basically.
Well, fruit, it's all relative, right? I recommend 1 to 2 servings a day. You honestly, as boring as it sounds, you get all your nutrients from vegetables. You don't need fruit. Should you have fruit? Yeah, why not? Here's a good example. So if you work out on Monday, but you don't work out on Tuesday, you probably would be better off having the fruit on Monday, less the fruit on Tuesday. The more active we are, the more carbs we need. The less active we are, the less carbs we need. Do professional athletes drink Gatorade? Are they all pretty ripped and lean usually? They need that sugar at that moment, blood sugar, right? There's a practical example. Yes?
Does water intake make a big difference?
Water intake's only going to help you. It's only going to help you. From a health standpoint, from metabolizing body fat, absolutely. That's why you see bodybuilders, what do they walk around with usually? Water jug. Definitely helps the process. Small things count. Got to add up with everything else. Having the water, but not hitting our calorie goal isn't good to see. So it's like you got to just take it and keep going layer by layer.
What about dairy?
Dairy's a choice. I don't respond well to dairy. I try to limit it. Some people works great. So the biggest takeaway too is, we're all unique. Like something that works for you may not work as well for you, and that's okay. You have to be consistent to discover what does work and what does serve you.
I think protein drinks and protein powders and stuff is not technically Whole30 compliant. Do you know what it is about those things that are not kosher with the program?
They're processed,
Oh, okay.
although the processing.
Are there ingredients in them that are
Some.
not
Some.
Whole30? Oh.
Well, dairy in itself is
Right.
non-Whole30. So that kind of blocks it out right away. The goal of Whole30 is you to effectively look at your relationship with food, why you eat the foods you do, and the goal is for them to set you up for as clean of a diet as possible. So less processed is going to be cleaner. Even though like quality whey protein, it's really not processed much. So questions up.
What about non-dairy smoothies and juices? If they're light on the fruit, is it still?
So juicing, an example, depends where you're getting it from. Are you doing it yourself? Because if you're going to like a juice bar, which I think is more popular out west, tend to be very sugar heavy. So you just got to look at what's going into it. Typically what happens when we remove the pulp or the fiber, does that skyrocket our blood sugar when we drink it? Yeah, it makes a big difference. So the more our body has to process something, the less of a spike we're going to have with our blood sugar.